Welcome, everybody. So good to see you again to day 5 of our 12 days of Sacred Self. Not everybody is turning on the video, which is totally fine, guys. This is up to you. But we did discover the power of sharing and voluntary vulnerability. So today, on this 5th transition and contemplation of what it means to be a sacred self, what it means to be spiritual, maybe to some of you, I wanted to invite you to talk about vulnerabilities. How is the energy of today treating you guys? How does this feel for you, energetically sensitives, today? What can you pick up on, either yourself, within yourself, or on the outside? Who wants to share? Hi there.
Hello.
Do you feel lighter? What are some of the thoughts that are going through your head, or some of the emotions? When you say lighter, does this mean that you felt heavy before? You felt burdened? This is interesting. Cheryl, where are you calling from? Just real quick. Okay. So you felt burdened and you feel lighter now. Do you think, when you said you could tell that this was something coming in from the outside, yesterday we had this discussion about the importance of knowing the difference, whether it's from within ourselves or coming in from the outside. Do you think that it has something to do with your inside, or do you think that it influences how you feel yourself? It's a bit of a trick question. Okay. Wow, you're picking up on a lot of what is going on right now here in the etheric realm, in the invisible realm. Thank you for sharing, Cheryl. You're not alone. But as always, these things all metabolize differently in each and every one of us. I'd love to hear maybe another contemplation, a different version of how you perceive reality right now. Who else wants to share? When you say this morning, Annette, are you referring to like right when you woke up, or how did this come to you? So you describe an opening somehow. Annette, where are you calling from? You're calling from Denmark. So when you say this morning, so there's something about this. Was this right when you woke up? Maybe when you were ready to greet the day? I know you guys in Denmark have been having a really dark winter this winter. Was there at least a little bit of light when you woke up? Or do you? Okay. Yeah, this is you creating your own light, perhaps. Okay. Guys, there's something extremely beautiful about this energy right now. And when you really take a moment, it makes you cry. Not because it's so sad. Maybe it feels a bit like sadness at first, but it is this really touching down with our heart, with that source of light within us that can be felt right now if we take a moment. And Cheryl, shared something about her dreams. And Annette shared something about when she woke up. Any other versions? Janet is sharing here in the chat, I'm feeling strength, being able to go through resistances as well as the discernment, like more discernment of what needs understanding. Any other versions? So it was ready there for you. Okay, waiting for you. Yeah, kind of like that. Wow, that sounds great. Any other versions of that? Or other? Very strong. Oshihunda's sharing, he had the exact same feeling as Linda when you woke up too. Ooh, that gives me goosebumps, guys. All right, but then there's also other stuff, right? There's a lot of confusion in the world. And this is why I'm asking you guys where you're calling from, because it matters. You know, this collective spirit that is around you, right? It's different in our countries, not just because of the traditions or the ethnic stuff or the cultural stuff, but also because of some of the current events, right? Some of us in Europe, some of us, I'm in the United States, but some of you in Europe, you are experiencing maybe a little bit of a scare and a little bit of intensity of this governmental control. Here in the United States, it's more like a bit of confusion. And I don't know, I don't want to speak for America, but you know, we've just gone through all of this, and there's a bit of a relief right now that things feel like they're finally sort of calming down a bit or getting back into something like order. And then some of you in Australia or in Asia, you may feel, you know, something that doesn't really affect you, but you feel like, you know, that these shifts and changes that are happening in the world will bring in something new. But no matter where we are at, there is this like really strong sort of arrow that points inside. Because whatever is going on the outside, as you said, Cheryl, well, we can't really control this. And even if it's in our more immediate environment, like our family or family members, there is just this distinction that we need to make between the things that we really need to take care of, or like Janet said, that we really need to face or that need more understanding. And then there are things that are just going on, you know, they're affecting us, but it's not really something that we can control. And so it's really important to remember this part in us that can transmute all of this, that can say, okay, you know, this or this or this sucks right now, but that's not something I can control. What can I control? And you guys report about very spiritual experiences. That isn't something that everybody really is aware of. And why is that? Because most of us are asleep. Most of us are not aware of how all these energies metabolize in us, and how our choices, our intent, what we put out, our thinking, our emoting, even our dreams, how they all need to metabolized within ourselves. And all this happens when we go to sleep, when we go to the physical sleep. Who of you knows this feeling when you are laying in bed and all of a sudden it feels like an onslaught of like bits and pieces, junk stuff from the day, that comes up, and it makes you think, and oh my God, and I got to do this, and why didn't I do this? And all of the sudden stuff from like last year and 20 years ago come up, and it's like, oh my God, and it's like, I'm totally powerless all of a sudden. There's a reason for that. It's all the unprocessed stuff. It's all the unconscious stuff that we carry around with us like a burden. That is what makes us feel weak, what makes us feel powerless. So what can we do? I mean, sometimes we have days where this continues all day long. Do you guys know those days? Those darkness or dark nights of the soul days? Yeah. So we're here to remember not just the spiritual blah blah about all of this, but the pragmatic and applicable things that we can do, strategies to deal with the true nature of who we are. And the true nature of us is that we're not just some kind of white robes, red socks, spiritual being. We all know this. Okay? It'd be new agey fantasy stuff to talk about us being all these beautiful souls coming together here, holding hands and singing Kumbaya together and changing the world that way or changing our life that way. That's not how this works. There is some truth in that, and you experience the truth of that when you come here or when you watch these recordings. When we are aware, when we are conscious of the true nature of what we are and what we need to transmute our pain, our fears, our confusions, our weaknesses, our addictions, our shadow, then we are actually feeling that we have that power, we have that higher power in us. And it speaks to us. And sometimes if we let all this muck, all this molasses sit there and allow ourselves to marinate in it, it's really, really hard to hear it. So there's no way we can, feel the light or the breath of life in us when we are choosing to be unconscious, because this residue of outer energies, inner energies, all our feelings, our to-dos and not to-dos and intentions and broken promises and addictions and whatnot, they compound in us. And at night, when we go to sleep, they take on etheric form. They materialize in this spiritual, or as we called, etheric realm. They haunt us in form of our darknesses, in form of our weaknesses, in form of our shadows, in form of the monsters, the animals in us that try to eat us or that try to sting us or capture us, or however this comes to you. And when we become aware of this power of transmuting, then we also become aware of the power of sleep. There is a sleep that regenerates, and then there is the asleepness that adds, that accumulates darkness in us. And you're starting to get this. Cheryl, I like what you said. It was hard for you to tell what was there first, the chicken or the egg. And it's the same with the sleepness. And sleep. We need sleep for our energies to be metabolized and for our life force to be regenerated. We all know this. But what most of us are not aware of is that it's really the inventory of all our thoughts and sentiments and intents and weaknesses that we are facing when we're sleeping. And this is why many of us developed an anxiety to go to sleep. In fact, insomnia is your body's reaction of wanting to go to sleep, because unconsciously you know you're going to have to deal with stuff. All right. So I want you guys to take this new perspective and see sleep in a different way. This is the tradition of saying a goodnight prayer, or we do this in different forms and different cultures. But to have this moment of awareness before you go to sleep, and remember that higher power in you, and be ready to face that, and be ready to remember that you have the power in you, that it's always there. It always answers back to you when you are awake. So what I want you to do from now on is to go into an aware sleep, like an awake sleep, and practicing to meditate and contemplate is basically the version, the awake version of awake sleep. All right, because most of us actually sleep throughout most of our lives because we've lost that awareness. And the big message for you guys today is that this source that flows through you, through the day that comes in, all right, the sunrise and the air that you breathe, that those are always there for you, and that all you really need to do is to remember that, to tune into it, to embrace the sun as the divine soul of the Father, to fill you with this warmth, this light, this breath of life, and to connect with nature, with the earth, to make you feel this nurturing and nourishing awareness that you actually exist. So today, on day 5 of our sacred self daily needs here, I want us to align to the energy of grace. Oh yeah, we didn't record. I want you to align your energy to the resonance of grace, not what you think, not in this Christian way or any other religious way, as this power, the power that flows through you, that can remind you of your inner higher power to transmute any fear, any weakness, any shadow, any pain into love, into truth, into wisdom. So as I'm turning on the music, I've prepared the energy alignment for today. You'll be able to download it. I want you can turn off the video, you can just tune into yourself here and listen to my voice. I've taken a Native American prayer for today's alignment that addresses this resonance as Great Spirit. Grace. Great Spirit, whose voice in the wind I hear, and whose breath gives life to all the world. Hear me. Before you I come, one of your many children. I am small and weak. Your strength and wisdom I need. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the sunset. Make my heart respect all you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise, that I may know all you have taught my people, the lessons you have hidden in every rock. I seek strength, not to be superior to my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me ready to stand before you with clean and straight eyes. So when life fades as the fading sunset, may my spirit stand before you without shame. Mitako yo yasin. Yes, I am ready. I have become aware of the source of spirit in me that is filling me with the breath of life whenever I look at the sun and connect with the earth. You answer my call whenever I take a conscious sacred moment to allow your graces to fill me. I am not alone. When I go to sleep, let me feel the love for truth, the warmth of surrender, and the light of wisdom in my heart, so that I can feel the strength to face my weaknesses and allow for all that needs to be healed to be revealed. I am ready. Thank you. You probably feel the desire to stay longer in this place. Could you feel it? When life ends and the sun sets, this doesn't necessarily refer to physical death, guys. Try to see it as something that you go through, the rhythm, the cycle that you go through every day. When the sun sets and you enter into physical sleep and your spirit has to face all of these negative and positive energies of the day. And maybe use your empathy to feel what that must be like for your etheric self. And the spirit that carries you through that. When we connect with grace within ourselves, we're connecting with this higher spiritual energy that is, it feels like it's outside of us, but it's not. It's something that has to do with the source of all existence. It's something that we can, use as, maybe sun or light. We intuitively do this anyway. We talk about this inner light. This next hierarchy of spiritual realms. Elohim, as it's called in spiritual sciences. That's wonderful, Annette. I'm reading you, sharing. You could feel it. You felt that you can do it, that you're ready. Yes, it's that voluntary vulnerability to be fully awake with all our fears that can fill us with tears, but not tears of sadness or desperation, the tears of arriving home, arriving in ourself. Endless sharing. We are traveling through many physical changes, and our mind is awakening to a new form of understanding of life. Yes. And it typically comes towards, this more mature stage of life. But the truth is that this accountability for who we show up as, what we put out into this world, that this is always needed. This inventory that so many of us mistake as inner judgment. Does anybody want to share? I'm reading your texts here. So the contemplation today is mostly that of understanding that we are composed of so much more than just our transgressions of the past or idealizations of ourselves, but that there is so much more. And to become conscious of it allows us to tap into what so many of you are lacking or seeking, and that is purpose, meaning, being able to contextualize all these things that are going on in our lives, recognizing that these are all just going-ons of your 3D existence, and that you never lost this higher power to transmute all this, not to misuse it as escapism or fantasizing a better reality in some kind of spiritual la-la land, but to recognize that this is a hands-on thing. And that all it requires is you to show up and be aware of it. Perhaps simply by just looking at the sun, even in Denmark, and remembering that, when it's a cloudy day or when it's night, it doesn't mean the sun is gone. It just means that you temporarily can't perceive it. To remember that it's always there. And the same with the earth, with nature, the divine soul of the mother. Yes. Thank you, Shiela. You're really feeling that it's okay to be where you're at. Yes. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. We are exactly where we need to be. Thank you guys for joining me on this very deep, sacred day. I love your sharings. And then I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for a new sunrise, a new breath of awareness. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.